Whenever I hear about a topic where I think, why isn't everybody talking about this? Everybody should know about this. That's a topic that I couldn't be more excited to make a video on. And if you saw last week's video, you know that I've started going down the rabbit hole of blood sugar. Blood sugar is one of those terms where it hasn't jazzed me up at all. When I think of blood sugar, I think of sugar-free cookies, I think of insulin kits, I think of blood pressure, but it's not a sexy topic. If I hear things like weight loss, hormone balance, energy, anti-aging, did I say weight loss? Those are the things that really intrigue me. And turns out blood sugar, this non-sexy topic, is a big driver of all those things and more. And blood sugar itself is part of a pretty complicated process within the body, which despite how many blood sugar, insulin, glucose, glucagon videos I watch, I still can't simply explain it. But what I can do is share with you the things I've learned that help balance blood sugar, why you should care about it, and then other resources you can take on to really reap the benefits of balanced blood sugar. I'm just going to the grocery store right now. I'm going to restock on a few blood sugar stabilizer staples, which are very simple. One of them is apple cider vinegar. The other is romaine. Any type of green lettuce is great for your blood sugar as a way to start your meal. If you have greens with some vinegar, any type of vinegar, I love apple cider vinegar. It's a great way to stabilize your glucose levels. So what can happen, let's say, if you're going to have a cookie randomly in the afternoon? You're like, I'm kind of having that slump. I want something sweet. By the way, your blood sugar is probably low. If you have that cookie, just straight up, raw dogging the cookie, you're going to have a blood sugar spike. And then what will happen is your body says, oh, we've got some sugar. We need to help breaking this down and converting it into energy. Then insulin comes in, which is a hormone that converts that to energy for you. And what then happens is if your body's used to getting quite a bit of sugar, your blood sugar will drop because your body's like, oh, that was only enough sugar for a period of time. We need more blood sugar. Then you get tired again, or you get hungry again after a few hours of eating. I mean, this whole process explains why. For me, I don't eat sushi. When I have sushi, I'll be hungry, have sushi, I'm satisfied, but all that white rice gives me an insulin spike, and it's why 2 hours later, I'm always hungry. That's why I don't like to go for sushi, because it's just not enough for me. Well, if you have something like greens before your meal, before your cookie even, before something sugary, before carbs, with vinegar, studies have shown that it actually helps balance your glucose levels. How did I learn about this random thing? Well, from the book Glucose Revolution. I listened to it on Audible. The author of this book, she's on all sorts of podcasts. You need to follow her on Instagram. She has such great posts on the daily. By the way, I'm not big on Instagram. I'm barely on there lately. It's kind of for my mental health. I just feel better not being on there much. But when I look at her posts, she always has great tips on there, and it's fascinating. But I've learned all these tips from her. I should know her name. She posts all these different studies and research that tie back to blood sugar and the benefits of balancing it. And within most of her posts, she shares her glucose balancing tips. And they're all very simple. And what a martyr she is. And that she's not just saying, oh, find the tips in my book. Buy my book and find the tips. She's sharing this to everybody. But if you're like me and you like to get into the details, you need to get her book. You also need to go down the rabbit hole and listen to different podcasts she's been on. I will share links with you. I already love having salads. They make me feel so good. It's not even about me dieting. It's about one of those foods where it makes me feel satisfied. I feel good as a result of eating it. And that may speak to how my body processes it. I know some other people, and they're like, actually having greens makes them go to the bathroom excessively. Their body doesn't process it maybe the way mine does. And that's one of the magical things about blood sugar that I'm learning is I think it does a great job explaining why one diet or way of living works for one person and then it doesn't for another, because the way that your body breaks down sugar is different than another person. Certain foods may spike my blood sugar that don't spike your blood sugar, which is why I'm so excited for my continuous glucose monitor. I still haven't used it yet because, quite honestly, I'm a little bit nervous about putting it on myself. I need to get some help with it. I just want it to go in right. Some other tips that the Glucose Goddess shares: having a nice walk or any type of movement after a meal helps balance your blood sugars. Again, it's really about keeping the glucose spikes to a minimum, as level as you can. The Glucose Goddess shares how different foods affect her, and she even calls out how there's a big difference between natural fruit versus dried fruit. And a lot of that is related to the fiber that's in natural fruit that's not going to be in dried fruit, just because all the water's been pulled out, a lot of the nutrients have been pulled out. You could see there's just so much that you could cover on the topic of blood sugar. I had to share this with you because I'm convinced we are scratching the surface. The more people can learn about this, the more they can realize that you can actually eat the foods you want to eat, but with things that she talks about in her book, like what order of food types you should eat. She recommends having veggies, then protein, then carbs after. Your body processes it in such a way that keeps that blood glucose balance. Again, I just wanted to give you just the high level. I'm going to be sharing with you relatively soon, once I get this glucose monitor in, how it affects me. Then I can get in more details. It's kind of just like a quick video to be like, girl, you need to hear about this, or dude, you need to hear about this. I think this is why some people fail with diets, because they're constantly having these blood sugar crashes that make them crave things, that make them hungrier, that throw them all out of whack. I'm convinced, and I'm going to see with this blood glucose monitor, that the days I want to eat my feelings is likely because of my blood sugar. Like, I don't want to just come out and say that. I don't know that for sure, but I will be curious to see with the data of a blood glucose monitor if that's true. So this is very much a ranty video, just like a random kind of video. But what it comes down to is my whole approach to food. It's been a long journey for me. I don't restrict myself from any type of foods. I really try and listen to my body and have what I want. But now I can understand why certain foods may make me feel optimal, whereas others don't. And I really think it's all related to blood sugar, which is the tip of the spear and how your body breaks down things. It's going to determine your energy levels, what you're craving, your hormone levels, weight loss, aging. Just scratching the surface, but you've got to know about this. I think most of us have been approaching diet and nutrition wrong, because we are all so unique. What works for one person is not going to work for another, and maybe blood sugar is that missing piece. I hope you liked this short video. Please comment. What have you learned about it? What are you curious to learn about it? Always love hearing from you. And I hope you have a fabulous week, and I hope to see you next time.